These technical difficulties do happen from time to time. So is there audio? If you can hear me now, please let me know. That's the beauty of going live. It's like anything can happen. So looks like, do we have the audio? Ah, okay. So can I get a Y in the chat if you can hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. We're going to have to go through that again. I was just talking to myself. So, because we're in a new place, we've moved into a new flat. And part of the move has required me to reset up the studios, reset up everything that we have in terms of these live sessions. So I'm glad to know now that the microphone is in fact working. That's good to know. And thank you very much for everybody in the live chat. That's a teachable moment. That's definitely a lesson to be learned. And that's kind of what trading is, really. Try something, doesn't work, change something, try it again, go live on the CTI YouTube channel, don't have your mic on, the mic's not hot, and then you realize from now on, I will make sure that the mic is live. So I went through the live chat. I'm going to go through the live chat again because you didn't hear me. So for those of you who do have a degree in lip reading, I was respecting all of you who can lip read. And now let's do it for everybody else. So we have Devendra Singh saying, let's go. Very excited. We have Andrew. Andrew is the futures man himself. He is Mr. Signature FX as well. And he's saying the best Thursday show in the prop firm space. And hopefully you can hear me now as I say that. We also have more comments here from Devendra Singh saying gold is on the channel. Some2 is active. So thank you for that post. We have the real FX Bully is also in the live chat. Looking down now, we have some back and forth. You were letting me know that the microphone was actually not fully tuned in. So that was very appreciative. We also have, let's see, who else we got? Oh, we actually have a giveaway that we're going to be giving out to each and every one of you. So if you are in the live chat right now, please take a moment to type hashtag CTI. Hashtag CTI. If you type hashtag CTI, we will enter you in for a prize giveaway. We will give a little bit more details as to what that prize will be. But the plan is to have a prize giveaway each and every show because we value your time and attention on these Thursday live trading sessions. So all you have to do is type hashtag CTI for City Traders Imperium, and we will enter you into a live draw before the end of this show. All right. Now, I'm trying to remember everything I said when the mic was on, the mic was turned off. But we're going to get started. We have 7 minutes until the markets open in the US. I am Mandela. You are watching the New York session on none other than CTI's YouTube channel. All right, so we're going to put on a little bit of music in the background because I feel like we need a little bit of music in the background just to get us going here today. So we usually will trade the S&P 500. So for those of you who are familiar with what we trade, we like to trade the S&P 500. And today is no different. We'll be doing that again today. We also want to have a quick look at what else is moving today. So we'll have a look at some things like gold, which we think could potentially move today. And Bitcoin hit an all-time high yesterday. So we're going to pull up that information for you right now. Let's get the charts going. All right, here we go. Life is about learning. And I was sure that I had the mic all hotted up and ready to go. Here we go. Okay, so this is gold here. Just having a quick look at gold as it's preparing for the US market open. We've been looking at this over the last few weeks, and yeah, we basically try and see if there's some sort of move out of the Asian range. That's how we trade. So we're looking closely at what was the high and the low during the Asian session. And then what we'll do is we'll look for prices to break out of that Asian session range, and that's exactly what we're looking at doing here. I'm gonna just put a timer on the top right just to keep me on track for that US market open, and make sure you can subscribe. We've gotten some really positive and helpful posts in the live chat. So please make sure you subscribe, and also feel free to comment below. I will remind you at least 2 more times to post hashtag CTI in the live chat, and you'll be entered into a prize giveaway. More information on that to follow very soon. Okay, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Yesterday hit a massive all-time high, big run up yesterday. I think the only news that I was kind of told about was the fact that we could see the Fed lowering rates more than expected. There was nothing really major in the last hour of trading that I saw. So if anybody did see any sort of catalyst or any announcements about what could have drove Bitcoin higher into this, just ticked a new all-time high. Really just took out all the stop losses on people that were short and had their stop losses at the previous all-time high from Thursday, May 22nd. And once we hit that all-time high yesterday, came right back down, and we've been in this kind of consolidation range, maybe waiting for another move or where it wants to head next. But we'll keep a close eye on Bitcoin as well as we get closer to the market open. All right, currencies wise, we're gonna leave currencies for now. We'll leave Forex for a minute, and let's have a quick peek over at the S&P 500. There we go. So S&P 500 slightly lower overnight, so not really changing much since yesterday's close. So yesterday's close is here, and looks like we're going to get an open just a fraction below the previous day's close. So we're watching that. We also have our eye very closely on the all-time high, so that could be a target for us today. If we do see, I guess, a new fresh high for the week, then we'll be looking at whether or not S&P can get up to 6,285, which would make a brand new all-time high. So let's keep a track on that. All right. Now I'm just gonna have a look at. There we go. Thank you. So also thank you very much to Justina. Just seeing your message now, Justina. No voice on the live, sir. Thank you for that update. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that. So yeah, we've got a few things in store today for each person who is actually spending their Thursday with us. And I mean, I enjoy looking at the markets. It's not easy to trade while on YouTube, and I really have to give credit to Andrew, who's really been a pioneer in that respect, and who's kind of encouraged me to do this. And I do hope that there is some sort of information, some glimmer of information that is helpful to you in your trading, because we're all different. We all trade different strategies. We trade different assets, but there are some underlying principles that I think could apply to everybody. All right. So what we will give away is a $10,000 one-step account. $10,000 one-step account is what we will give away to a lucky winner, and we'll have that draw very, very shortly. As we get ready now for US markets to open, let's focus on the open first. And what we'll do is I will show you how I update my levels. All right, there we go. And let's lock that. So I'll update my levels live on here, and then we'll get to that that live draw before we finish off today. All right, so we have the markets opening now. Markets have opened in the US, and we are looking at a very small gap up, I guess you could call it, from the overnight, from the previous close to this morning. Very, very small gap up. So we do have that all-time high that is not very far away. It gives us about, is that 20 points? Not even. So that's definitely doable today. Let's see how we react in the opening few minutes of the day. So this is S&P 500. We like to kind of wait and see how prices are going to move, what is going to be happening in the start of the day, and then we base our trading on a reaction to what the price is actually doing. So intentionally today I did not update my levels. So what we're going to do now is manually move these levels over so you can see a little bit of what goes into actually setting up the charts before trading. So this thicker shaded area is what we use for the 5-minute opening range. And then this area here is what we use for the 1-minute opening range. And for those of you who are just following us for the first time, watching us for the first time, the opening range is a very basic strategy, very simple in its pure sense. And what you're looking for is you're looking for the price to break out of a range. And that range can be defined as a 1-minute range, a 5-minute range, a 15-minute range, a 30-minute range, a 1-hour range, or anything in between. It's completely up to you. Now we're getting some weakness to start this session, so that's interesting to note. We've seen a lot of strength over the last few weeks, so it's just one thing to be kind of mindful of, especially out of the open. We've seen a lot of strength. Even yesterday we had a lot of strength out of the open. Quite a few of my trading friends, colleagues were very successful and profitable yesterday, being able to catch those moves out of the opening range. So today we're looking at a downward move initially in the first few minutes here. We like to wait for a little while. So usually we'll wait for the first 5 minutes to elapse before deciding what to do next. I'm going to have a look at the live chat in a minute, but I like to keep my laser focus on the charts for the first few minutes of the day. Reminder to type hashtag CTI in the live chat to be entered into a prize to win a $10,000 one-step CTI account. Okie dokie. So looking at the first minute, the high is 62.67.19 and the low is 62.63.55. There we go. My keyboard is extremely noisy and keeps me awake at night when I'm working late. And 67.19 was the high. 719. There we go. And the low is just being formed now. So the low is in the process of being formed. We're looking at potentially, this is the last minute of the first 5 minutes. Looking at 62.58.45. 58.45. There we go. And it looks like it looks like it's making a new low. So definitely showing some weakness, some signs of weakness out of the open here. We're still a bit cautious. We're aware of the time of day. So it tends to be a little bit more volatile in the first 5 minutes. So we are very cautious and very defensive, I think is what I like to, the way I like to think of it. We're very defensive here as we get the first 5 minutes to elapse, which we've just gotten. So we've just gotten the first 5 minutes of the day, of the trading day. 57.62 was the low. 57 62. There we go. Okay, so now we're inside. We have the opening range 1 minute, and we have the opening range 5 minute. We're gonna make this black, and we're gonna actually get ready for a potential trade to the downside, because if this does move, we want to capture it. So let's see. Just setting up for the trade, getting prepared, and really want to thank everybody who is watching with us. You're basically a fly on the wall in in our trading room. We're trying to figure out if the S&P is going to break out to the downside today out of the open. At the moment, it's looking slightly drippy. I like my cheese drippy as well. S&P is looking slightly, a tad bit drippy, just below Monday's high, and it's showing some signs of weakness. So the more red we see on the screen, the more we kind of like following this trend. And this trend was taught to me about over 7 years ago, by a Chicago pitch trader who trades S&P futures. He goes by the name of Matt Pax Kenna, and he taught me this strategy. I thought it didn't work. I tried it. I made some profits. I lost some money. I stopped trading it, and then eventually I came back full circle, and I've been using this strategy consistently for the better part of the last 4 years, and it works. It works for me. Okay, so we're gonna set up. Here we go. Let's lock that off. Let's have a look at the 5 minute candle. Okay, so 5 minute candle closed convincingly outside of the 1 minute range, which is a good sign. We've now hit what is the 9 EMA on the 5 minute, and we are respecting the 5 minute low. So the initial 5 minutes of the trading day, this was the low, this was the high, and we're kind of sitting just a tad above that 5 minute opening range low at the moment. I'm gonna have a sip of tea. My voice is a little bit raspy. I had 2 meetings back to back this morning, so I'm gonna just clear up the old voice box. Oh, that's good. All right. So one of the names of the game is patience. Another name of the game is patience as well. So as we kind of watch this, I'm gonna just give this a little bit of time to cook. Before we actually have a look at the live chat, I'm going to just quickly set out what I think are the reasonable scenarios for today. One reasonable scenario is we eventually are able to break above this, what would be called the 5 minute high, which also happens to be the 1 minute high. So that's a scenario. Maybe that one could be called scenario A. Excuse my handwriting. I've been told I write like a doctor, which I am not a doctor. Second scenario is we break out below the opening range. Ooh. And that is scenario B. Okay. So when I say breakout, there could be variations, obviously. Things don't tend to go the exact way that we plan them to, but ultimately we end up a lot lower than the opening range in, let's say, the next hour. next 45 minutes to the next hour. So that's scenario B. Scenario A would be getting closer and closer to the all-time high, which sits at 62.84 spot 65. And that was hit on Thursday of last week, which was 4th of July Eve, right before the close. We got a nice little push up, a nice little rally higher. And then also always consider a choppy day or a choppy sort of environment where maybe it goes out a little bit, but then we come back and it becomes, for me, it becomes a non-tradable day. So I prefer not to trade these days based off of the style of trading, what I'm trading, and also based off of my preference. So I don't like to trade this. It doesn't actually, it doesn't do me any good to try and trade in these sort of choppy waters. So this could be considered scenario C for Charlie. So these are the three scenarios. As the day progresses, we can kind of change the probability of one happening versus the other, but we need to be open-minded. I can't say to you, all right, guys, the price is going to go up and we're going to make a lot of money. Let's go. We have to be very flexible. And in this case, we're seeing some more drippiness. So we are holding these opinions very loosely. So I'm going to say right now, I'm not trading. I'm inside of what I call this 5-minute opening range, which is essentially this guy here. So as long as we're staying inside here, it's pretty much not much to do. We're just chilling out, maxing, relaxing. So cool. And just waiting. We can have a look at the news. We can have a look at maybe some of the biggest movers, some of the biggest gainers. Maybe take a peek at Bitcoin, take a peek at some of the other tickers that we like to follow. But as long as we're inside of this opening range, we want to be patient and wait. It's not until we get the price to move below, and that's when we start to act. Now, I'm going to just be very responsible here and put an alert right here. And this will let me know that we've gotten a breakout. This one I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive, a little closer. And this one will say crossing above the opening range. And this one will say we're moving below the opening range. Okay, there we go. And let's put it at 58. So I don't necessarily have to keep my eyes glued on it. This alert will notify me the moment we move lower. And in the meantime, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. All right, now let's have a quick look at the live chat. Just a reminder, we will be giving away a $10,000 account for one lucky winner. And it is a one-step account, courtesy of CTI. All right, let's see what's happening on the live chat here. We've got quite a few messages that we want to go through on the live chat. So here we go. Okay, so we've got, starting off again from top, wheel it back again. All right, so we got Devandra in the live chat. Thank you very much for letting me know that the mic was not live. That was good. That was good. I tested you and you passed. Some too as well is in the chat. The real FX bully. The real FX bully. So we can get to some FX for the FX bullies in the house. So just scrolling through, seeing what else we got here. We got Justina as well. Justina's reminding everybody to like, comment, and subscribe. And we eventually got that sound sorted. Okay, so we got the real FX bully. A little bit of laughter. Technical glitches are part of life. So we did say earlier, one thing I forgot that I said when the microphone was on, microphone was off, is that CTI is celebrating 7 years, and we want to say a special congratulations for seven years of success. And part of that celebration is we're giving away $10,000 account, which is a one-step account. So make sure you type in the live chat hashtag CTI. We also have a message here from Some2, CTI all the way, and he's got some party emojis and some sort of fireworks emojis going on there. We also have, okay, so CTI, happy 7 years. Enjoyed trading CTI the last year. That's Some2. Hashtag CTI. So we've got one entry from Devendra, one from Sachin. We've got another one from The Real FX Bully. And we've got Dishi, who's posted hashtag CTI. Thank you very much for that. All the best of luck to you as well. Gerald's Game has done hashtag CTI also. And yeah, we're keeping going. Let's see. We got a message here from Devendra talking about gold. So identifying a upper trend line in gold. So we will have a look at that. Reminder that it's only one entry per person. One entry per person. Okay, we got entries all around here. Okay, yep. Some2 says he wants to invite some of his friends to this session, so please feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video with family, friends, loved ones. That's how we continue to grow and to provide services like these. So if you enjoy it, go ahead and send it around. That's what's going to help us to grow. So let's see what else we have here. We got how do you compile fundamentals when it aligns and place a trade? So that's a good question from Ray. I want to call him Ray. Let's call him Ray. So the question is, how do you compile fundamentals and place a trade? So basically what we're doing here in this particular strategy, and we can widen it. I just wanted to show the all-time high was not that far away, but we all know where the all-time high is. So if we get a little granular here, we can even go to a 5-minute chart. What we're trying to do here is we're really just trying to trend follow, and that's it. This particular trade is one that's been used by pit traders and has, in my opinion, it has been adopted by algorithms. And you're trying to basically follow the trend in the first hour of trading. That's basically it. So I'm not really using a whole lot of fundamentals. I do keep in mind, what else is happening, what has happened yesterday, what's happening today on the calendar. I'm thinking about various other factors, but in terms of this day trading strategy in particular, I'm mainly looking, I would say 80%. Yeah, just about 80% is looking at price trending in the first hour. And that's it. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. We sometimes will look at things like volume, but we're also looking at key price levels from recent significant price levels as well, kind of give us some confidence and a little bit of an idea of what targets to hit. But that's it. So we can get into fundamentals in future shows. So if I'm looking to do like a long term, something that I'm planning to hold for a few months, then yeah, you bet your boots I'm going to be looking more at the fundamentals. But this is very much a trend following strategy that is more focused on the price. And we look sometimes, like I said, we'll look at volume and we'll try and align the price moves with where we think price could go. And we just simply react to what the price is doing. So thank you very much, Ray, for your question. Let's see. We got another. Okay, so yeah, there was a message here from Devendra saying suggestion to post some things on the Discord. We got Marvin Nation saying hi, guys. So hi, Marvin. Hello to you and welcome to the chat. Let's go from ISO Real, and yeah, we got some FX posts here. Stop losses are also important. That's mentioned here. So there we go. There we go. Just kind of trying to get through the live chat really quickly here. Very lively today. Live chat's very lively. New York session has liquidity. That is true. That's why we like trading the New York session. All right. So lots of posts. Very, very a lot of hashtag CTIs, which is amazing to see. And yeah, we're gonna keep the show moving. But thank you very much to everybody in the live chat with us. We're looking at S&P now, kind of getting a little bit of a test of this this 5-minute opening range low again. It's knocking on the door. It's definitely knocking on the door here. So the next thing I'm gonna do, and I don't know why I didn't get a notification. Usually it gives me a ping. I didn't hear it. So let's go, let's try this again. Let's do 56, 57. All right, there we go. And all right, we'll put the live chat to one side for a moment, and we're gonna see what else we got going on. So we're seeing quite a bit of selling pressure going into, I guess, the first. We're in the first 20 minutes of the trading day today, and that's to be expected. I think we've had a really, really, really good run over the last few months in S&P 500. So selling pressure is nothing to be afraid of. It's part of the business, part of the market. We've been doing this for over 20 years, and I'd like to say nothing surprises me anymore, but there are still times when you'll see the markets move and you're trying to figure out if it was a Trump truth or was it some sort of geopolitical surprise. And you want to always try and be connected with what's happening in the markets, and that's kind of what we're doing today. So I'm gonna set up all my levels, because this is important. This is a very important part of my day, and I intentionally left this out for today because I didn't want to have these pre-done. So we have at the top, we have all-time high coming in. If we zoom out a little, might look a little funny. This was Thursday, so 4th of July Eve. Got a nice little rally into the close. Remember, it was a half-day close. We had the show last week, Thursday. And that has been the highest price ever hit in the history of the S&P 500. So prices come down. This week has been a little bit soft. This week has been a little bit softer. So this was Monday, and we ended up bottoming out on Monday a little. Tuesday was sort of sideways, kind of consolidation, a lot of people would call it. And then Wednesday we got a gap up, and then dropped lower, tried to close the gap, couldn't, and then ran up for the rest of the day. Now we're getting a test here of the opening range low, and this is where the strategy works. So we just got a ping. I heard the ping this time, so we are actually going to look at taking a trade here. All right, getting a little bit of selling action. We called earlier, we were calling for some drippy action. It looks like it's returning. It's giving us some weakness here. Now, ideally, I would like to see a kind of sustained move below here. So below this 62.57 spot 6. For those of you who are trading futures, obviously your prices are going to be slightly different from ours. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a sustained move below the opening range here. Okie dokie. And as we say that, we're getting price to return back inside. So we're not actually in at the moment. We're sitting chilly, sitting pretty, hanging chilly. We're just chilling. That's what we're doing. All right, looks like on a 1 minute time frame, it's kind of holding there. This is the 5 minute time frame, which tends to be a little bit more powerful, a little bit more sustainable, and we are looking for this 5 minute candle to close below the opening range. And if we can get that close underneath the opening range, that's a great sign for us. We have roughly 20 seconds left on this candle, and then we will know if we've closed below the opening range. Let's see where we go from here. Okay, so we did close below. That's a great sign. That's a great sign that there is some potential weakness here. So we talked earlier about the three scenarios. Scenario A was that we move above the opening range. Scenario B was that we move below the opening range. And that's kind of what we're seeing clues of. We're getting pieces of the puzzle that are starting to come together, showing there is a little bit of weakness here. I know we're only in the 25-minute mark of the day, first 25 minutes of the trading day, but we're getting clues that there is some weakness. And the more that we stay below this opening range, the clearer the sign of weakness. As I say that, of course, the price is going to go back higher. Of course it will. What else? What else would you expect? All right. So we got the 5-minute opening range closed below. This is a 15-minute opening range. 15-minute candle. And what we are hoping or looking to see is, can this 15-minute candle close below 62.57, spot 62? And that's the question that we have to ask ourselves. We got about 4 minutes left on the clock. So we're going to just leave this and kind of just let it cook. Sometimes you don't need to do anything. And if you do try to do something, sometimes it can mess it up. So we're going to just let this cook for a little bit. Let's see if we can get a little bit of some sort of momentum here building up in the S&P. That's what we trade. We trade momentum. We trade trend. If the price is not trending and there's a lack of momentum, then we don't trade. We don't have to trade every single wiggle. We don't have to trade every single day. Our job is to extract funds from the market. And if there is no opportunity to do that, then we simply just wait patiently. Okay, so the 15-minute candle has just over 2 minutes left on it. It's kind of like a dance, I think, in some ways. I think of it like it's kind of dancing up and down, up and down, up and down. And it looks like it wants to finish inside of the opening range. So we're going to wait patiently again. And we're happy to wait as long as the price remains inside of this this black shaded area. Then we don't have anything to do. We're sitting on our hands. Like I said before, we're just chilling. And we're happy to do that. All right, so the dance continues. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. So the smaller the time frame, or the lower the time frame, the more noise, the more I guess mixed messages you'll get. So we've gone to the 15-minute chart. Now it's starting to show that it's looking at moving lower here, and that's a great sign. Now we still have roughly a minute and some change left on this 15-minute candle, but I'm just going to react to what's happening, and what's happening now is we're getting a nice push below. I think most of you would agree that's exactly what we're getting right now. So I could be looking at gold, I could be looking at Bitcoin, I could be looking at I think Delta. Was it Delta? Delta announced earnings before the open today. It was up about 12%. But I'm laser focused on what works, and right now that's S&P 500. We're just looking to see what the price is going to do outside of this opening range here. So 30 seconds left, and we're, I would say, somewhat comfortably below this opening range low here. And that's a great sign for me. And this is basically gonna give me an indication of what direction the S&P is going to break out of the opening range. And if you go back or you remember the scenarios that we were talking about earlier, this is pushing me to lean towards scenario B. So scenario B, we said S&P moves lower outside the opening range, and that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we got a close on that 15-minute candle below. That's the 30-minute as well below. So let's see. I think 5-minute candles not really giving away too much, but we did. So we moved out below the opening range here, closed below, had a second one below, third one below, but this one was a little bit whipsawy. We got some wicks at the top, wicks at the bottom. We did return back into the opening range momentarily. We touched this 9 EMA briefly, and then we closed lower on the 5 minutes. So that's a good sign. So this is, for me, this is a good sign that I need to get in this trade. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves ready for a potential trade here on the S&P 500. And what direction? Well, we're looking at what would have been scenario B, and we're going to be placing our trade momentarily here. All right, there we go. Okay, so why does this work? Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail later, the reasons why this strategy works so well. One of the reasons I think I find it helpful is because it's almost overly simplistic, and I like that. I can apply it a lot easier. So what we'll do here is we're gonna change the color of this opening range to red. And the reason I do this is because it reminds me that we are below the opening range. And there were so many times in the past when I was back testing this, forward testing this, I would try and fight the opening range. I would try and fight this, and I try and prove this strategy wrong. So many times, too many times to mention, where we would be down here and I would think, okay, it's got to go back and retest. It's got to break and retest. It's got to retest. And I would try and force trades on the long side. And then you kind of realize after a while, it's better not to fight the strategy, and it's better to trust the process. And so a reminder of that for me, to trust the process, is to make this area red, which reminds me that we are below the opening range, and also reminds me that I want to follow the trend lower. And obviously the 1 minute opening range is also red as well, which reminds me that we're below the 1 minute opening range also. So we're on a 5 minute chart here, making what looks like lower lows. And what we're going to do is at this moment, we're going to set up the levels. The levels. Used to want to be a singer a long time ago. Never really panned out. Don't know why. Okay, so pre-market high. So we're going to move this one. We can do one at a time. So pre-market high, we'll pop that here. So to find the pre-market high, I usually go to this one, and then we'll look at what would have been the pre-market high. Would have been here to be exact. So pre-market high was at 66.2, looks like. Yeah, 66.2 was the pre-market high. 66.2. All right, so let's go back here. And then 66.2 is here. And we'll do 66.2. Alrighty then. And we'll put that on the top. And this one. So this would have been the week's high, this week's high. This is right there. So pre-market high, we just highlighted that as 66.2. We'll lock that off. Usually there's a lot of orders on the pre-market high. Some people call it the overnight high. Next up, we got Monday's high. Just comes in there. And if you want to just confirm, this was Monday. And that's the Monday high. So that's kind of where we got to, the highest price that we got to on Monday. Next one we got is we put in the Monday opening range low, which is good to know. Previous day's high, so we got to move that to over here. Previous day's high, we're going to move that up here to, let's see. So we're getting some more follow through here on the S&P 500 outside of the opening range. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. This was previous day's high, which ended up being this week's high. So we're going to just hide that for now. We don't need to reiterate that. Next up, we've got, so this would be the opening range high from Tuesday. We can get rid of that. Opening range low of Tuesday, we can get rid of that. Don't need that. So previous close, this is an important one. So this is where we finished the day yesterday. So that's going to be roughly here. All right, and then we go top. Okay, so previous close yesterday would have been right at the market close yesterday, and that's going to be 62.63 spot 25. So 62.63 spot 25. There we go. So that's popped in nicely as well. And we lock that so that next time we touch it, if we move it by mistake, just like we didn't have the microphone on and we pressed the wrong button by mistake, it won't move. So we like to lock things off. That's good. Next up, what else is down here? Previous day's low. So we'll move this over. Previous day's low is going to be right here. Okay, so previous day's low coming in at 62.31.43. So 62.31 spot 43. Okay. 43. And I explain all of this stuff. If you are looking for more details on why and what am I doing and what's going on, why aren't you talking about gold? That's all I care about. This is all part of the process. I'm gonna have a little sip of tea. This tea is brought to you by CTI. That's where the tea comes from. Good quality tea. Reminder to everyone, I haven't forgotten. I'm sure you haven't. Hashtag CTI to be entered into a $1,000 funded account with CTI. It's a one-step challenge. Type hashtag CTI. We're going to be giving that away in the next 20 minutes. So if you haven't done so already, please type hashtag CTI in the live chat. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a proper spiel. So CTI is going to be celebrating their 7th birthday. And part of that is to give away a account. So hashtag CTI is all you got to do. And we'll take care of the rest. We'll be selecting only one lucky winner today. If it goes well and we get good feedback, we're looking to try and roll this out for future shows as well. So you'll get a $10,000 CTI account and a one-step challenge. Alrighty then. So what's happening up here? Not much follow through so far. Looks like the buyers are starting to kick back in on S&P 500, which is to be expected from time to time. They don't want to make it too easy for the shorts, the people with the shorts. Right, so we got week's low. This was last week's low. Actually, this week's low. Okay, so this week's low is way down here, just about 6,200. Interesting to note that 6,200 was the low hit on Monday. Then we got the June close. So this is where we started the month of July. would be considered from here. So anything above this means that S&P is green for the month. Anything below this means S&P is red for the month. This was a previous all-time high, hit the 30th of June. This is the previous day's low. So this is usually where we get a lot of orders, a lot of liquidity. So sometimes it can act as a place where liquidity gets swept, or if you think about it as just where people have their stop losses potentially. So we'll keep an eye on that. We got to do the pre-market low as S&P is returning into the opening range. Very, very sort of anticlimactic there. Not really any follow through. So pre-market low is 42.7. Okay, pre-market low 42.7. There we go. Lovely, 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 lovely jubbly. I am live and direct in London, London town, and just doing some live trading. I mean, this is what I would be doing anyway, and it's nice to have a good group of you, a nice variety of people looking at various things in the market today. I'm just basically showing you how I set my levels at the start of the day, and I think it was the last show I got a message asking, can I show how these levels are set and obtained? So this is basically the process to go through to try and get these levels for the day. Looks like we're right back inside the opening range. It was very short-lived, a very, very short-lived visit outside, underneath, I guess you could call it, underneath the opening range here. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this is the retest. So sometimes what we'll get, and we've talked about this quite a few times, we'll get the break, and then we'll get the retest, which is could be potentially what we're in now, and then we get what I like to call the second line. The second line. So we got that last week Thursday. It was a little bit earlier in the session. We got the break above and then the retest, and we kind of took off from there. So maybe we get a retest of the opening range low, and then we resume lower. That's a possibility for sure. I think it will kind of depend on what happens in the next few candles, next few minutes. If we remain below, if we can stay below and continue to close below this, effectively this Fibonacci, what am I talking about? Fibonacci's not here. If we can stay below this opening range low, which comes in at around 62.57, that's a good sign that we could be getting a break and retest. If we break above and we start closing inside this opening range again, then that's a sign that maybe we don't get scenario B. And what do? Do we get upset? No, we don't get upset. We pivot and we reassess and we say, okay, we see that we're inside, the price is remaining inside the opening range, which means the chances that we get a scenario B are reduced. Let's wait and let's see if we get another breakout. And if that breakout's above, we'll prepare for a scenario A. And I've been in situations where they'll get so stuck in that first mind becomes the only way. And the first scenario becomes the only way that they can think, this has to be right. I'm short. I don't want to admit I'm wrong. I can't get out now. And that's what causes problems. So we're back inside the opening range. No problem. No harm, no foul, no stress. We're just reacting. And that's exactly what we're paid to do. So right now it's kind of sitting chilly right there at that opening range low. What's happening probably is we're getting a bit of a tug of war between those who want to push this higher and those who want to push it lower. I'd like to see, interested to see how we finish up in the next sort of minute or two. If we can kind of stay inside, or do we dip back lower again? I think that's a very good question. So about 20 seconds or so left on this candle to see what happens. But yeah, a lot of it. I think a lot of the trading comes down to what could be characterized as self-talk. So the things that you say to yourself and about yourself, and I think that's a very underrated, underspoke about aspect of this business. Now, if you're doing more so like algorithms using robots and things like that, I think that is a different game. That's a completely different kettle of fish. But if you're doing sort of, I would call more discretionary trading, your ability to talk to yourself in a way that makes sure that you're successful is vital. So you don't want to be stressing out on every single wiggle, every single move that you see. So we're basically we return back into the opening range. We could see the price go from red to green. We could see the opening range flip from red to green. That's also a possibility here. But for now, we're just going to wait, because the rules, as we said, if we're inside the opening range, we just wait. We don't do anything. We're going to actually take a quick break. Actually, we're going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to stretch my legs for a moment, and we'll come back on the other side of this break, and we'll get ready for that draw. So as we're doing the break, please remember, if you haven't done so already, just do a little type of hashtag CTI. That's Charlie Tango India, or City Traders Imperium. And we will make sure to add you into the live chat competition, which is going to be for a $10,000 account, one step challenge. So we'll speak to you on the other side. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. And it's yours truly, Mandela. I'm live and direct in London, and you are watching the New York Open, and brought to you by none other than City Traders Imperium. So we're going to give away a $10,000 account to one lucky winner. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks everybody for joining and for participating in the live chat today. And we're gonna see. Let's see. I see people are trying to put multiple entries together, and just a reminder that it is only one entry per person. One entry only per person. All right. So let's see here. S&P is just about to turn green on the day, just at the previous close. And we'll keep an eye on that as we get ready to do this draw. So I'm going to randomly scroll through, and the one I land on is going to be the winner of the draw. All right, let's see here. Okay. Drum roll, please. I need a proper drum. I gotta download some drum sound effects. I know. All right, here we go. The winner of the 1K CTI account is looks like Sum2. Sum2, you are the winner. Congratulations to Sum2. You have won a 10K account from City Traders Imperium. Congratulations. Let's all give them a round of applause, everybody. Come on now. I know you all wanted to win. We're going to do our best to try and get these done. If we can get these every single show, but we need to make sure that we're continuing to support one another. That's what it's about. It's about having a good community of people. So Sum2, congratulations. It's very important that you listen to this part. Please provide us with your Twitter handle or your X handle or your Instagram. And that's the way that we'll contact you. So please post in the live chat. Justina will keep an eye out. Please provide us from your YouTube account. Let us know your X handle or your IG account, and we will contact you directly for giving you that prize. So congratulations again to Sum2. Really great to kind of give away a prize. I think people like receiving things on a Thursday, and being able to have something that they can tell their friends about. So we're gonna try and do this as a regular sort of thing each and every show, a regular prize giveaway. So congratulations, Sum2, again. I'm gonna see if you've actually done what you're supposed to do. Please type. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, congratulations, Sum2. Please, if you can, please type your Twitter handle or your IG into the live chat. If you don't, then we will not be able to get you that prize. So it's very important to please drop that into the live chat. Justina can take it from there. Okay, we are rocking and we are rolling. Let's pull back up the charts here. Okay, so S&P here, not really doing a whole lot. I'd say it's fairly flat for the day, starting the day. Sometimes you will get a nice move out of the open. Other days, it takes a bit of a while for things to kind of calm down, shake out a bit. I know, for example, let's have a look at the volume. So sometimes the volume is quite low. So it looks like volume's starting to build up a little bit into this, I guess, into the first hour of trading. It's kind of where we're at now. And then I also like to look at the advancers versus decliners. So looks like could be getting a little bit more breadth underneath the surface. This is showing us that the amount of companies that are advancing today is increasing. That's good to know. Volume as well. Looks like it's slowly starting to increase today. So I like to keep an eye on that as well. We got S&P 500 kind of just stuck, a little sticky. Not drippy, not rippy. It's just a bit sticky. And it's kind of just chipping around. So we moved down out of the opening range, kind of got us a little, got our antennas up a bit, got us ready for a trade. And then we kind of just went back in, hit the previous close here. And it's starting to kind of cool off a little bit. I was thinking that we would turn green for the day, but it's staying red. So still red on the day. Most people will call this unched, more or less unchanged for the day. So still early days. We will wrap up the show shortly. but not really any action for us during this show for S&P, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not here to just force trades. I'm sorry. If you're looking for me to force trades, I'm sorry. I'm not your guy. I'm not. This is actual. It's an actual fund that we're running, and this is an actual account. So we will take the trades as the opportunities present themselves to us, and this is front row seats to how we look and how we analyze markets. And as I say that, S&P looks like it's having another look at the low. So let's see what happens here. We may get a second push below the opening range, which would be very interesting to see. Let's see what happens here. Interesting to see if we do get a sort of follow through move. I am a little bit cautious here. Because we got what would have been the initial move lower, and this could be what could be a second line here. Very possible second line move. We talked about second line last week on the show, last week Thursday. If you haven't already checked out our show from last week, check it out. Looks like we're getting what could be a second move, second line. All right, just lining up some of this. So similarly to earlier, we basically set it out fairly clearly earlier. Is if we can remain below this opening range low, then that's, for me, that's a bearish sign. That's telling me that the bears want to push this lower, at least in the short term, at least for the next few minutes. And I'm willing to kind of take that risk, take that opportunity. So let's see if we can remain below, that'll be a good sign. Also keeping in mind that the first hour of trading will finish in approximately 3 minutes. So if we can finish the first hour of trading below, then that's a good sign as well. Now, also keep in mind the trend has been higher. Yesterday, we moved higher in pre-market, and then we moved higher out of the open yesterday. So we kind of still want to be very much disciplined in the sense that we're not going to take a trade unless there's a clear opportunity. So 5-minute chart looking like it's staying below, holding below for now. That's a good sign. And 1-minute chart looks like it is trying to go back into the opening range. So far, I would say, it's starting to look more and more like a fairly back and forth day. Fairly choppy, nothing really jumping out to me to show any sort of major momentum. So there's very little momentum, and that's what we do with this strategy. We're momentum traders, and in order to see that momentum, or in order to trade, we need to see that momentum. In order to see that momentum, what does that momentum look like? We need to see the price moving in one direction outside of what we call the opening range. Okay, dokie. All right, just gonna have a look through here. We gave away the prizes earlier. That was fun. We're still trying to get some trades off. If we can, we will. But like I said before, we're not trading for the sake of it. This is a real account, and this is serious. So we're waiting to see what happens here. Markets are open in the US today as we see S&P returning back inside the opening range, and we're gonna just gonna wait and see what happens as a result of this. But yeah, we can have a quick look at what else is going on. We can have a look at some of the other charts. Let's see here. Okay, what else is going on? So let's have a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin tends to follow risk assets quite frequently. Okay, here we go. So if we zoom in a little bit, the Bitcoin yesterday, we talked about at the beginning of the show. I'm not sure if the microphone was on during that time or if the microphone was off, But we did mention earlier during the show that Bitcoin is or has hit an all-time high. So yesterday, just before the close, hit an all-time high nicely. And then it's kind of been in this kind of consolidation overnight into today. So nothing really major to do there. A lot of trading is waiting, basically. It's showing you patience to wait. Also, we got really good announcement out of Delta, and it's cleared for takeoff. American Airlines is also up. So earnings is starting this week. Earnings season has started this week, and this is Delta up about 13.5% after announcing some really good earnings numbers. And then also there was some good forward guidance saying that they're not really impacted by all this tariff stuff. So really big move, big gap up as well in Delta, and it's dragged quite a few of the airliners higher as well. So that's why we see American Airlines kind of benefiting from the Delta earnings. As you can see, American Airlines did not announce earnings. Their earnings is going to be later on in July. So 17th of July is American Airlines earnings. It's just, I think it's fascinating to see how the movements from one airline company can really impact other airline companies as well. US dollar has been one to be very mindful of. It's actually moving quite higher here. So that's good to see. So we have, this would be considered our sort of Asian range. So we got a nice clean breakout out of the Asian session range, Asian Pacific range. Broke out here, and it's starting to look pretty solid here. Dollar has been beat up for the better part of the year so far, hitting lows upon lows. And I keep doing that. So yeah, really beaten up. Maybe some may call this a bit of a dead cat bounce, but if you are trading Forex, look at your dollar pairs, and you should see some appreciation in the dollar. Whether you're trading Aussie dollar, that would be considerably lower here off the back of this US dollar strength. Pound dollar, obviously weaker with that US dollar strength, obviously inversely. Euro dollar, weaker of that US dollar strength. And then we look at dollar yen, obviously stronger because of the US dollar strength. So we'll cover some of these in some of the other shows. Gold also slightly weaker, and that's, I think, maybe off the back of US dollar strength, causing the price of gold to weaken slightly. Just scrolling through. So we got what's this here? This is NASDAQ. So I know quite a few of you trade NASDAQ as well. And then S&P trying to stay up. It's trying to fight to stay inside of the opening range today. So we're gonna wrap up the show in a few minutes. Thank you everybody for watching today's show. We are we're very honored to be able to have this platform, and we enjoy doing these shows each and every Thursday. Each and every Thursday, we come on here. Let's try and start 15 minutes before the New York session starts. And we do what we can. We show you what we're seeing. And we hope that there is some glimmer of positivity and some information that could be helpful to you during your trading journey. And that's what it is. We're all on a trading journey. I'm on a trading journey right now. A part of my trading journey right now is to be on YouTube with you each and every Thursday, and to kind of call it like I see it, explain what I'm seeing and the reasons why. Showed you today how I set up my levels for the day. Also some of the thinking process behind the strategy. And I'm very grateful to have this opportunity. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to have a quick look at the live chat one last time, because we got quite a good group of people in there. So just going to scroll through very quickly. So Devandra, thank you again for joining us. We have the real FX bully. Let's do Let's do some confetti. I think this calls for some confetti. There we go. All right, so thank you again to everybody who has joined us in the live chat today. We have Devondra, we have the Real FX Bully, we have ISO Real, we have Andrew. Andrew is a futures trader, goes by Tesla FX in the live chat, keeping everybody on their toes. Welsh tea is the best tea. Welsh tea is the best tea. So really appreciate you joining us as well, Andrew. We got a show tomorrow. Anybody interested, hop over to our Signature FX YouTube channel. It will be simulcast here on City Traders Imperium's YouTube channel. You can also find us on Signature FX with Andrew and myself. Going through now, Sum2 was the winner. So Sum2 was the winner of the 10K account. So congratulations again to you for that win. Dishi, congratulations as well for joining and being a part. Ali is in the live chat. We've got going through. Alex G, it's Alex G. Guys, like the video. Oh yeah, like the video. Reminder from It's Alex G. So shout out to Alex G saying, guys, like the video. It helps the algorithm. It helps to grow. It helps us. I know sometimes it's a bit, it can be a little bit cumbersome to do, but it really does help the channel to grow and to continue, for us to continue to do these shows for you. Crypto Talk also in there. AI is in there. Stealth TJR also there. Big Guy is in the live chat as well. Sachin has posted hashtag CTI. We've got few conversations back and forth here. Also, thank you to Justina, who is keeping us up and running, really. Making sure that my mic is working, making sure everybody in the live chat is keeping on their P's and Q's. We have Rosario saying hello. So welcome, Rosario. Thank you very much for joining as well. Really, really good to have you in the live chat during this session today. And almost at the bottom here. All right, I'm just making sure. I just wanted to check to see if we did get that the social media contacts. I'm not able to see. I'm not able to actually see if we got the social media contacts from Sum2. Yeah, I'm not able to see that yet. But if you can just confirm that with me, Justina, because it's important in order to get the account information over to Sum2. We just need to get that information. I'm sure we do have it. I'm just in the process of scrolling through to try and make sure that I have it. All right, we got a lot of chats. Thank you very much for all the feedback, everybody. Sum2, congratulations on winning. And that's it. I think we're watching S&P now as it slowly starts to creep higher. Looks like it wants to continue higher, but you know the rules. And they are, when we're inside the opening range, we wait. When we move above, we like to go long and follow the trend. If we are below, then we like to go short and follow the trend. Very, 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 very simple strategy. All right. I think that's it from us today. We're gonna leave it there. Thank you again, everybody, for your time and for your attention. We will be back here next week, Thursday, to do this all again. Maybe take a trade. Also, a reminder for tomorrow. Check us out tomorrow on the Signature FX YouTube channel. Just search Signature FX on YouTube, and you'll be able to find us quite easily. All right. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you again. And until next time, everybody, happy trading. Speak to you all again very soon. Take care.